What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for clicking onto this video. We have a unboxing slash review today. Not much else I can say other than that. So hit that subscribe, click the like, turn on the post notifications because we do have more unboxings on the way. We're going to do a full video of all the pickups that I got or purchases that I made during the All-Star weekend. So we'll just get straight into it. All right, everybody. So obviously today is Valentine's Day. A pretty big Saturday just with the All-Star. I think the 3-point dunk contest, the skills competition was tonight. I'll say was because it's about 10 o'clock right now. With that being said, the shoe that dropped today, there were multiples, but the one that I got today, you can kind of base it on the box here, is the Jordan 6. I've seen it called the Salesman, the reverse infrareds. Whichever one you would prefer to call it, it's fine by me. So we'll just pull out the shoes here. Oh, all right. So we have like I said, the Jordan 6 reverse infrareds. I was a little skeptical of the shoe until I got it in hand. Once I saw it in person, I was actually really happy with it. I was actually excited to have the shoe. Obviously, compared to the original Jordan 6 infrared, you've got the infrared kind of along the midsole here instead of the little bit here. This was black on the original pair. The Nike Air was also black on the original pair. The thing I actually kind of like about these is the story of them, where this was a sample that was made for the Jordan 6 infrareds, but it never made it past that, sample stage of creation. So, this was originally an idea for that shoe. Obviously, they didn't do it that way, but now they did, and I actually like it. The suede, it is actually a really nice suede. It doesn't feel super cheap. It's not the best suede. We'll just, make that perfectly clear. It's not the best suede, but it is not by far the worst suede that they could have used. Obviously, the icy bottoms, you guys know, I am a killer for the icy bottoms. The atypical Nike lace lock with the Jordan logo also on the other side. One detail that's actually pretty cool here, see if I can get it on the camera. It has a sample tag on the inside as if this was a sample pair of the Jordans. So that's also really cool. And I picked these up at about 10 o'clock this morning, and I have not actually really looked at it. So we're kind of just looking at it together for the first time. And I noticed it's got what is basically a version of a sample tag attached to it. And I actually find that little detail really cool because it's not really something you see very often. So it's a little different. Believe it or not, I hit on a raffle for these shoes. And of all places, I got the early, actually, no, I'm sorry. I didn't get the early access for JD. I put the raffle in for Foot Locker. I don't think I did Finish Line because Finish Line is no longer at the mall that I like to go to. So my original plan was I was going to try to get up there early when the mall opened. I actually hit on the raffle at Dick's Sporting Goods, which apparently it's not even called Dick's Sporting Goods anymore. They call it Dick's House of Heat. So, I guess that means they're carrying some Jordans now. I've seen the selection. They had these obviously today. I don't know how long they actually lasted there, but, they got some low top ones, mid ones, just kind of some real basic stuff. But I ended up hitting on the raffle at Dick's for these. And I was super excited Friday when I got that email saying, you just got to come pick it up between 10 a.m., 2 p.m. I was kind of ecstatic. I was like, well, now I don't have to go wait. Now I don't have to, kind of rush to get there and try to come up with backup plans in case it didn't work. Well, and this was the shocking part. Now, I don't know about anywhere else for everybody else, but for me personally, I was expecting not, I say not like, a stampede for the shoe. I was expecting it to be a bit busier for it. I mean, the mall that I go to, it's got a JD Sports. It's got a revamped kind of massive Foot Locker. It's got, Champs doesn't really have much anymore. DTLR is in there. There wasn't a lot of people. I thought that the shoe would at least sell a lot better. I mean, I was seeing people like literally bounce from JD Sports, go over to Foot Locker, go over to, DTLR, and they'd be leaving the mall with 6 pairs, 2 from each store. Now, personally, I kind of find that a bit ridiculous, being that it's last time I saw it, which was about 1 o'clock, 1:30, something along those lines, they were going for like $14 over resale or retail. So you're making 14 bucks. I don't think that's that worth it. And I don't think that this shoe is worth picking up 6 pairs or even doubling up on them. I didn't necessarily think that it was worth it. To each their own, I guess. Even if you sell 4 of those, you're only making like 60 bucks. But so it is what it is. I'm not going to be too judgy because everybody's going to do their own thing. Everybody's got their own way of dealing with sneakers. But for me, I'm really happy to have this pair. I think the last time the infrareds, obviously the black ones, I think they did the white ones a handful of years ago. I think so. But the last time the black infrared sixes came out, I think I was in like middle school. So about 10, 12 years ago. Yeah, I think like 12, 13 years ago, something like that. And that was the last time I can remember when they came out. I couldn't get them. So I was happy to have this now. And I have found that something that kind of like really sits with me here lately is shoes that I remember seeing growing up that I would have never had a chance to get, that now I am able to get. And that is one thing I think when it comes to Nike, we can all appreciate. Like this shoe, had they said, oh, okay, they're making 30,000 pairs, I think everybody probably would have flocked to any store they could to find them. Being that, it's a GR, I think that could be. I do know the Union fragments, those dropped today. I went 0 for 4 on all the I'm sorry, I guess it would be 0 for 4 here. On all the raffles, so that really sucked. But I was able. Even if I hadn't hit on the raffle, I could have walked in and still got them. So I'm grateful to have this pair. I'm happy to have this pair. You really can't go wrong, right? The infrared's I think the infrared's a beautiful color. I love that it's on an all black shoe, just because it really stands out. And it makes it seem brighter, and I love that. That is now that I mentioned that was one thing I know people were worried about, that the infrared wasn't really as close to the infrared as that the previous pair that came out. I'm not too worried about it. I think the last time they came out, I think it looked more pink than infrared. That's my opinion. But I'm super happy to have this pair. I was elated to have hit on the raffle. Little disappointed that I could have, I realized I could have just walked in as soon as the mall opened and still bought it. But at the end of the day, I got the shoe and I'm happy with it. Yeah, so I wasn't going to go crazy into detail. I feel like there's already been plenty of like early videos made on the shoe. We've been, hearing about these for a good month or so. But overall, it's a really nice shoe. I haven't seen it. I haven't looked at it for a couple hours. The last time I did, you could still go onto the sneakers app. I think the only sizes that weren't there was like a men's 12 and up, and then like small sizes. So if it's still available, I'd recommend getting it. I do know a couple people that passed because, we got the Levi 3s next week, the Wolf Grays after that. I believe I think the Lake Show 4s is also next Saturday. I think that's when they drop. I'm not going to worry about those. I do want the Levi's, but I'm not going to worry about those 4s. The purple doesn't really, excite me at all. So, concluding concluding the Jordan 6, I'm going to have a full All-Star Weekend unboxing video. I was hoping that what I did end up picking up would be here by at least today. Unfortunately, the one got delayed and it's not supposed to be here till tomorrow. The other one still hasn't shipped. So when the rest of my pickups come in, and I'm talking, sneakers, I'm talking clothes, I'll probably throw these in for a quick cameo just because this was an All-Star Weekend pickup. But we're going to have a big All-Star Weekend unboxing, and then we're going to start focusing on looking for the next, couple weeks, what's confirmed to have dropped. So if you enjoyed this video, please click the like, leave a comment. If you hit on the sneakers, if you went to the store and picked them up, let me know. If you hit on the fragment, the Union fragment ones, even you can let me know. I'll probably be upset about that because I went 0 for 4. That part really sucks. So if you did any of that, leave it in the comments. Hit the subscribe, post notifications, follow my socials, and I will see you guys on the next one.